I used to believe that if I worked hard enough, if I provided enough, if I sacrificed enough, I would earn happiness. But at 57 years old, sitting alone in a quiet house with no one waiting for me, I realized something that still hurts to say out loud. I won everything I was told to chase, and still lost everything that mattered. If you're somewhere in your 40s, 50s, or 60s right now, and something inside you feels empty, this story might explain why. My name is Walter Crowley. I'm 58 years old, and I built everything, except the life that mattered. I spent 40 years in construction, swinging a hammer at 18, and never putting it down. I built homes, but somehow lost my own. I built offices while my family learned to live without me. I built apartment blocks, but my kids grew up in empty rooms. They said, work hard, make money, protect your family. So I did. I built a business from nothing, bought houses, drove nice trucks, paid every bill. From the outside, I won, but inside, I missed birthdays, I missed dinners, I missed bedtime stories. And one day I realized I didn't lose my family in one moment. I lost them one overtime shift at a time. And now, the houses are full, but my life is quiet. Because the saddest thing about success is realizing you built it alone. My second marriage didn't end with screaming. It ended with silence. 2 people, 1 kitchen table, 2 cold cups of coffee, and the moment when you both realize the love already left. No lawyers yelling, no doors slamming, just 2 tired hearts signing papers that closed a chapter they never meant to finish. But that was only the beginning, because what came next wasn't quiet at all. I lost the house, then the second one, then the savings. Every safety net I built for 40 years ripped away in months. By the time it was over, I was 57 years old, living in a rented place, sleeping on a mattress I bought on credit, opening bills I was afraid to read. I had more debt than I did at 25, and less hope. I went from being the man everyone depended on to the man who didn't even know how to depend on himself. I used to sign paychecks. Now I was begging for extensions. I used to solve everyone's problems. Now I couldn't solve my own. But the hardest part wasn't losing the money. It was losing my place in the world. Because when you lose your house, you still have memories. When you lose your savings, you still have people. But when you lose your family, you lose your identity. Some nights, I'd sit alone in that quiet apartment. TV off, lights dim, phone in my hand, and I'd check my messages. Nothing. Because my kids were at their mother's house. And suddenly I realized something that hurt more than any bill ever could. No one needed me there. No one asking for help. No one calling my name. No one waiting for me. Just me. And the sound of a clock counting down a life that didn't look anything like the one I built. And that's when it hit me. I didn't just lose my marriage. I lost the man I used to be. I didn't fall apart the way people expect. I didn't start partying. I didn't chase younger women. I didn't destroy my life loudly. I destroyed it quietly. I started numbing myself. Every night, after the lights went out, after the phone stayed silent, after the apartment felt too big, I poured a drink. Then another. Then another. Not because I wanted to be drunk, but because I didn't want to think. Because thinking meant hearing the questions I spent 40 years running from. Was this all worth it? Did I build success or just build a cage? Did I give my best years to work and my leftovers to my family? Why did I feel more alone at 58 than I did at 18 with nothing? The alcohol didn't make me happy. It made me forget. Forget the empty rooms. Forget the quiet phone. Forget the man in the mirror who didn't recognize himself anymore. Every glass pushed the pain back. but it also pushed my life further away. And slowly, without even realizing it, I wasn't just drinking to escape the loneliness. I was drinking to escape myself. Then my friend Mark died, 56 years old, strong, healthy, the kind of guy who still went hiking every weekend like he had decades left. Cancer took him in less than a year. One day he was planning trips. The next day we were planning his funeral. When I stood there, in that quiet room, surrounded by flowers and silence, something inside me broke. Because Mark didn't look like someone who was ready to die. He looked like someone who thought he had time. And that's when the fear hit me. Not loud, not dramatic, just cold. I could be next. And if I was, what would I leave behind? A business no one cared about. A few trucks that would be sold. Some old photos and boxes. No passion, no joy, no memories that actually mattered. Just work. I realized something terrifying. I didn't just almost lose my life. I almost lived it without ever truly living. And standing there, watching them lower my friend into the ground, I made a promise to myself. I wouldn't let my story in the same way. A week after Mark's funeral, I got in my truck and just started driving. No GPS, no plan, no meetings to rush to, just road. And somehow, I ended up near an old trail I used to walk as a kid, back when life felt simple and dreams felt close. I parked, turned off the engine, and for the first time in years, I listened. No phones, no voices, just the wind in the trees and my own breathing. And something strange happened. I felt calm, not happy, not excited, just calm. So I started going back, walking those trails, feeling the dirt under my boots, letting the noise in my head finally get quiet. Then I started taking photos, not for social media, not for money, just because something beautiful was still out there. Then I started writing, little thoughts, old memories, things I was too busy to feel before. For the first time in decades, I wasn't building for clients. I wasn't chasing money. I wasn't proving anything to anyone. I was finally doing something just for me. And slowly, softly, something inside me that I thought was dead woke up. I started making videos. Not to be famous, not to sell anything, just to talk. About regret, about loneliness, about being a man who gave his best years to a system that never loved him back. I talked about the nights nobody warns you about. The quiet ones. The ones where success can't sit beside you. And money can't hold your hand. And then, something incredible happened. Men my age started writing to me. Strangers from different cities, different lives, but the same pain. I thought I was the only one. I feel exactly the same. Thank you for saying this. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel invisible anymore. I realized something I never saw while chasing success. I didn't need a bigger house. I didn't need more money. I needed to be heard. And in telling my story, I finally found something I lost a long time ago. Connection. Here's something no one ever tells you. Your life has two acts. Act 1 is about survival. It's about working, building, providing, proving your worth in a world that only measures what you produce. In Act 1, you trade time for money, health for security, dreams for responsibility. You tell yourself, I'll live later. And years pass. Then one day, you look in the mirror and don't recognize the man staring back. That's when Act 2 begins. Act 2 isn't about impressing anyone. It's about rediscovering who you are when no one is watching. It's about healing the parts of you that were ignored while you were too busy being strong. It's about choosing how you want to spend the time you have left. It's about finally living. But here's the truth most men never hear. Most men never make it to Act 2. They get stuck in Act 1. Too tired to change. Too scared to start over. Too trapped by the life they built. They survive, but they never truly feel alive. But listen to me. If you're watching this, feeling that ache in your chest, that quiet voice saying, "Is this all there is?" That's not weakness. That's your second act calling. You're not broken. You're not behind. And you're not too late. You're right on time to finally become the man you were always meant to be. If you're watching this right now, and something in your chest feels heavy, this message is for you. Maybe you did everything you were told, worked hard, stayed loyal, put everyone else first, and somehow you still ended up feeling empty. Let me tell you something no one ever says out loud. You don't need to throw your life away to find yourself again. You don't need to start over. You just need to start again as yourself. The version of you before the world told you who to be. Before you buried your dreams under responsibility and fear. I'm in my second act now. Not perfect, not rich, not young, but finally awake. I wake up knowing my time matters. My voice matters. And my story isn't finished yet. And if you feel that same quiet pull inside you, that same feeling that there's still more left in you, then you're already standing at the door of your own second act. You don't have to walk through it alone. I'm right here with you. And for the first time in a long time, we're not invisible anymore.